immersed himself more and more in Christian beliefs as his life progressed. As time went on, these lessons became more profound, yet he soon found himself in troubled waters due to the difficulties of life. At this point, he started to doubt who he really was, his essence, his real being. A truth slowly dawned on him throughout his adolescence, not in the form of a lightning bolt of understanding, but like a jigsaw puzzle fitting together. The fact that he came from a deeply religious Christian family further added to the difficulty of his path to self-acceptance. Internally, there was a never-ending struggle between competing values and sentiments. At first, he fought against the truth he was experiencing, trying to find a way to reconcile his true identity with the religious convictions he had been taught since childhood. But it became more and more obvious to him as he grew older that he couldn't deny the profound and incontestable emotions he was experiencing. He began to accept a core part of himself, his homosexuality, slowly but surely. Making the brave choice to come clean to his family about who he really was a watershed moment in his path. Within their relationship, this revelation caused a tornado of complicated feelings and heated discussions. His unfaltering trust in God provided hope throughout these difficult encounters. Deep belief in God's unconditional love and acceptance resided within him. He had faith that God would be with him as he faced an unknown but hopeful future. When his partner passed away from cancer in 2011, his life took a dramatic turn. Constantly grieving, he endured the agonizing ordeal of being by his partner's side as they fought the sickness. There were times of bittersweetness and tears brought on by memories. The road ahead became a labyrinth leading into an unknown future once his partner passed away. His mind was clouded by feelings of hopelessness and loneliness. The weight of his impending death, made worse by his hypertension, clamped down on his chest like a vice. A group of hard-working medical staff encircled him as he unexpectedly found himself in a busy hospital ward. The atmosphere was electric with the sense of urgency as the cardiologists and pacemaker danced frantically to restore his heart's failing rhythm. All the while, this delicate medical ballet was going on, each second carrying the weight of potential life or death. The profound feeling of vulnerability and an insatiable need greeted him when he eventually rose from the depths of oblivion. As his throat ached and felt raw, he realized he was hooked up to an enigmatic device called a ventilator, a lifeline that took over breathing when he couldn't. Even though he was in a hospital room with all this medical equipment around him, the real discovery went much beyond that. Surprisingly, he revealed to the attending nurse a story that went beyond the mundane confines of earthly life. A short journey to the beyond, where he had a touching reunion with his deceased relatives. A look of bewilderment and curiosity crossed the nurse's face, setting off a chain reaction of inquiries that progressively revealed the complexities of this mysterious voyage. During this one-of-a-kind and remarkable event, his heart briefly stopped beating, transporting him to a realm separate from the material universe. Beyond the mundane confines of human life, his mind set sail on a journey that refused to be constrained by his physical form. There was a definite mix of emotions in the hospital room at this crucial moment, most notably the obvious anxiousness coming from the rookie anesthesiologist. Somehow, in the middle of it all, an extraordinary desire to reunite with a dearly departed loved one had materialized. His primary concern, despite his knowledge of his own mortality, was a sincere goal to reunite with his lover. Once his spirit left his body, it followed an intense need and soon arrived in a location brimming with limitless love. Here his vision widened, and he found his lost loved one again. Their bond was unbreakable, even though his beloved's body had metamorphosed into a brilliant energy. Without speaking a word, they communicated profoundly, their spirits intertwined. The mother of his beloved, with whom he had a contentious relationship while on earth, was also shown to him in this otherworldly realm. She hated him because of their misunderstanding. She thought he was responsible for her son's homosexuality. When news of their relationship spread, Tensions rose. Nonetheless, her embrace was comforting and inviting within this ethereal fabric. As he learned more about her, his feelings became more nuanced. Perhaps the truth was being illuminated, and myths were being dispelled in this dimension. His unfaltering support during her son's cancer battle was much appreciated, and they reconciled. But the words of his beloved shattered this ethereal rendezvous. Proclaiming that his path was far from finished, he had a serious responsibility to discharge, even though he longed to remain in this love zone. Like a dying star blending into the cosmic tapestry, they gradually drifted apart, and the severity of their separation was beyond description. The words of his beloved continued to echo in his mind, compelling him to go back and finish an enigmatic task. His reappearance was guided by an ethereal power, like emerging from a brief slumber. In the middle of the universe, his otherworldly voyage wove itself into the very fabric of space and time, reuniting him with the realm of the living. His breaths were slow and steady, in time with his heartbeat, and he could feel the subtle rhythm of his body. As his eyes grew used to the light, he was greeted by a spacious and bright hospital room. A group of diligent nurses tended to him as he lay in a hospital bed. As he touched the bedsheets, he knew he was back on Earth. A renewed respect for the precariousness of life and important insights into the specter of death were gifts he gained from a deep encounter with the secrets of death. It was difficult to cling to the recollections after awakening since they were like cloudy glass. Still, he could clearly recall a chat he had with an unidentified man or woman whose brown hair framed their face and who wore immaculate white clothing. A gentle voice conveyed the significance of personal autonomy, the liberty to pursue one's own way so long as it does not cause harm to others. Parts of what they were saying faded, but the advice they gave him remained. The ethereal quality of this experience is easily obscured by cynicism, so he guards it closely inside the depths of his heart and hardly shares it. Following their religious convictions, his relatives shunned discussing the matter. However, he views it as an invaluable present, a mystery boon from other worlds. Although he was unable to perceive God's countenance, he was enveloped in an indescribable aura of divinity. An overwhelming sense of God's love washed over him in this miraculous meeting. This love knows no bounds and knows everything. It helped him let go of mental baggage that wasn't serving him, which in turn increased his self-acceptance and faith in